David Cameron began the formal stage of negotiations with the EU ahead of a UK referendum. Chancellor George Osborne presented the reforms.
Well, today Britain's formal renegotiation has begun. We're seeking changes and reforms so that Britain can remain in the European Union. A letter is just being sent now to the President of the European Council setting out the changes that we would like to see. These are changes that will improve the European Union for all of its citizens, so we create more jobs. They're also changes that mean the EU is more flexible and accommodates differences, so that Britain, who is not in the euro and doesn't want to be part of ever closer union, can have its national interests respected. I'm here to talk to not just my ECOFIN colleagues, but also the President of the Eurogroup and the President of the European Commission. We're going to sit round the table and the negotiations are going to start. And I think we've got a real good chance now of achieving the reform that we all want to see. Thank you.
It isn't the first time the UK has dared to be different.
Chairman or the President of the Commission, Mr. Delors, said at press conference the other day that he wanted the European Parliament to be the democratic body of the community, he wanted the Commission to be the executive, and he wanted the Council of Ministers to be the Senate. No, no, no.
The UK's proposal has four main elements. The first is to safeguard the rights of non-eurozone members, ensuring that they do not face discrimination, that their taxpayers are not financially liable for the eurozone, and that any participation in banking union is voluntary. The UK also wants to reduce the flow of new regulations and set a target for reducing the burden of existing regulations. The UK wants the EU to do more to ensure a single market for the free flow of capital, goods and services. On sovereignty, the UK wants a formal, legally binding guarantee to make sure the treaty reference to ever closer union no longer applies to the United Kingdom. It wants to enhance the role of national parliaments by strengthening their ability to veto legislation, and wants to renew the EU's commitment to subsidiarity. The final and possibly the most contentious issue is the free movement of people. The UK is opposed to free movement of people from new member countries until their economies converge with the EU's. People coming to Britain from the EU must be resident and contribute for 4 years before they qualify for in-work benefits. And finally, the UK wants to end the practice of sending child benefit overseas.